Hi, I'm Blake Sutherland, and on this week's edition of 5 Minutes in History, we're going to be looking at the rift that is the 16th century religion. Protestants, Catholics, conflicting ideas. But how? How did something like this happen? Today, we're going to dig deep into the revolution that is the Protestant Reformation. Hello. With me today, I have Mr. Martin Luther and Mr. Pope Leo X. Mr. Pope, how do you feel about Martin Luther's recent actions?
God has given us the papacy. Let us enjoy it. Mr. Martin Luther has taken matters into his own hands. He's brought corruption into our lives, created turmoil and killing. Does that sound heavenly to you? He's the worst thing that has ever happened to our sacred religion. Not to mention, he's forbidding people's entrance into heaven. Speaking out against indulgences, is it a crime that people want to be with Christ Jesus? He's a heretic. He's a liar. And most of all, he's a sinner who will never be good enough for God's kingdom.
And Mr. Martin Luther, what do you have to say in response?
This is madness. Indulgences? Everyone should have enough common sense to know that it's impossible to get into heaven under the power of a sad scrap of paper. It's so simple. All anyone needed to do was believe. And you call me a sinner, Mr. Pope. It is you who is selling heaven to the people in order to fill your own coffers. You call me corrupt.
But you're condemning our followers. How do you sleep at night?
I never wanted anyone to break away. All I wanted was for you to change some of your corrupt, manipulative, and greedy ways of your church.
But you— Mute! You see, this is the argument that would consume most of Germany and Europe, and eventually foreshadow the 30 Years' War that was still to come.
Even after the forefathers of this great conflict were long gone, bodies decomposed, souls at their destinations, it continued to rock Germany and the rest of Europe.
Unrest and conflict between Protestants and Catholics spread rapidly and escalated, sometimes into full-scale wars between nations.
This conflict gradually shifted from its religious roots to a more political struggle. Each nation tried to seize more power under the name of a religion.
Germany, the center of the conflict, was torn apart and unable to unify until the 1800s. When they finally did unify, the British, feeling threatened by German potential, started making alliances, while Germany also made alliances.
These alliance systems evolved into a direct cause of World War I. When two nations got into a scrape, the rest of the Allied nations were dragged into the mix, creating a major conflict out of relatively small problems.
How could a simple conflict over church morals and practices lead to a worldwide conflict and war? As the great Swami Vivekananda once said, "All differences in this world are of degree, and not of kind, because oneness is the secret of everything."